and let us all do we can to build a better future. I really, really despise our political environment that we have here. All right. Now, Senator Dianne Feinstein is still in office. All right. So Feinstein, is somehow just rolling along, or she's being pushed to roll along. I mean, look at how she is right now. I mean, half her face is paralyzed. She's 89 years old. It's time to wrap it up. Look, everything has a beginning and has an end. It'll happen to me too. All right. But this story I get enraged about because I have to wonder, does anyone in her family even love her? Because even when questioned, where have you been? She said to the reporter, I've been here, even though she wasn't there for 3 months. She had to be dragged in. 89 years old. Age limits, term limits for these politicians. So let's pull up this video here from Case Study QB. Shout out to Case Study QB. If you're not following him, please do so. He is wrongly being censored.
And now to a battle in the Senate over California Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat. As NBC News reports, that battle has devolved into an ugly proxy war between the three high-profile Democrats vying to replace her. And it comes as concerns are ramping up over the senator's health and her reliance on aides since she returned to the Hill after a months-long absence. I want to bring in NBC's Alex Seitwald, who has been covering this for us. Also with us, Jim Messina, White House Deputy Chief of Staff under President Obama and campaign manager behind his 2012 re-election. So, Alex, talk about the concern over Dianne Feinstein, how it's escalated, and what happens now.
Yeah, well, I think this...
Again, screw this proxy war. The Democrats in leadership position, if I really had to tell them, I mean, hey, put her out in the pasture. It's over. Dianne Feinstein time is done. All right. And guess who's one of her caretakers? Nancy Pelosi's daughter. So there's a good reason why. And by the way, just so you know, Dianne Feinstein, that 89-year-old Palpatine wannabe, is worth $200 million. That's right. Her and her husband did a lot of insider trading. Like all Democratic and Republican lawmakers. Learn more and go to Unusual Whales on Twitter. You'll get your learn on there. Hold on. Let's have democracy in the chat. A type 1 if you think it's stunning and brave and courageous for Dianne Feinstein to still be in office and not resign. A type 2, God damn, this is so freaking embarrassing. This is pathetic. She doesn't even know where she is.
This is really driven by her condition, or at least the perceptions of it. She's returned to work back on Capitol Hill, but she's clearly diminished. She's in a wheelchair. She travels with a...
Half her face is paralyzed. I've seen this before. All right. I've had relatives in my family, really need help and suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. This is pathetic. Doesn't anyone in her family love her?
The phalanx of aides who keep her away from reporters. Her Senate colleagues, many of them said they haven't spoken to her yet. And there have been numerous reports that she appears confused about the situation. A report in the New York Times today, saying that she was unclear why Vice President Kamala Harris was there one time to cast a tie-breaking vote.
Oh my God, she doesn't even know what's going on around her. The Democrats, you're an embarrassment to everyone. The fact that you're allowing this is truly elder abuse. This is elder abuse. This is elder abuse.
And there was a poll out just last week from the University of California, Berkeley, that showed 2/3 of California voters don't think she's fit for office. Just 27% want her to stay. So there's a lot of questions about her condition, her ability to serve. She has said she will not run for re-election, but wants to serve out the remainder of her term through next year. A lot of Democrats want her to step down sooner. If she does, that would require Governor Gavin Newsom to fill the seat, which puts him in a really tough situation because you have a three-way primary to replace her, and anything that he does would be seen as tipping the scale for one candidate or another. We're all locked in this very ugly fight over Feinstein's seat.
Jim, this is a tough one.
No, it's not a tough one. It's very simple. Resign. Go. Everyone in the media should be ringing the bell. This isn't okay. This is not the standard we should be living under. Everyone, every single American, even if you're a Republican voter, you should be enraged for this. You should be angry. The people of California don't want her in office. Everybody in this country should be doing the exact same thing too. She has had her time. Everything has a beginning, must and will have an end. This isn't open for debate. It's not open for interpretation. It's not open for feelings. Is anyone in any position of power going to step up? This should also tell you just how heartless a lot of these politicians are, because they're like, oh, it's just Dianne. She's like, where am I at? These politicians are still doing business as usual, insider trading, doing deals with lobbyists, screwing over the American people. Congress is nothing more than a glorified old folks' home.
An icon who wants to complete her term. Do you believe that ultimately no one can or should force her hand? Talk about the considerations for people of influence here, including Governor Newsom.
Yeah, I do believe that it's up to her. She was reelected. It's her decision. Newsom's obviously not going to force her hand. I would also note, Chris, that you don't hear people talking about a bunch of older male senators who had similar issues.
Oh, shut up. Yes, I've been consistent. Everybody's been saying the same thing. We got a lot of old politicians who got to go. Men and women, guys and gals in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. We need to have age limits. We need to have term limits, because this is not acceptable. We have politicians who've made a career off of grifting. And just so you know, the new politicians waiting in wings in both the Democratic and Republican Party, all what they are is they're just the new version of the old guard. That's it. They can stay in power. Keep on being around. That's what these politicians are doing all the time. These politicians don't think about you. They don't like you. They don't respect you. I mean, are you not angry? But yet he's saying, oh, but seriously, this isn't open for debate. Not to say stunning and brave. She doesn't know where she's at. For 3 months, she was absent from a job. Gee, if any of you did that at your employment, oh, hey, let's have democracy in the chat here. Type 3 if you were gone from your work for 3 months. Type 3 for, oh yeah, my boss would gladly have me back in. No problems. I type 4 for no, dude, I'd be gone by the second day. I'd be fired.
And so I think there's a little bit of issue that we need to be careful about, people picking on this absolute, historic woman. That said, this is only the second open Senate seat in California in 30 years. And you have 3 very high-profile Democrats all running. This is a state where Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 29%. It's obviously a very blue Democratic state, and they have a jungle primary rule, meaning the top 2 people from the primary go to the general, even if it's 2 Democrats. And so you have 3 just absolutely heavyweights trying to figure out, do I appeal in the primary to the base, or do I get ready for a general election where there's no Republicans, so there'll be more moderate voters out there for grabs? The politics are incredibly interesting, Chris, and I think it's going to be one of the races of the cycle.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And as you well know, Jim, Governor Newsom said that if for some reason she would vacate her seat, he would appoint a black woman, which creates a whole other set of issues, right?
Oh, absolutely. My former boss used to say the bad thing about appointments is you make a bunch of people very angry, and you have one person who thinks you waited too long to do what you should have done anyway. And so if I'm Gavin Newsom, I don't want anything to do with this appointment.
That's why these politicians are cowardly. Well, they'll never fight for you. They're too cowardly to do anything. They're so afraid. So afraid.
I want a real primary and have him out. He's kind of said that publicly and privately to folks. He doesn't want in the middle of this, and he's very happy to have a very big contested primary with 3 candidates who are all really good and would be very good United States senators.
And fair to say, and we've only got 30 seconds, be best for any future presidential campaign he might run just to avoid this altogether.
Hey, we got a senile old woman in the U.S. Senate who doesn't know where she's at. It's so funny. But see, this is the problem all across the political spectrum. You know what? To quote Misty, we're so effed. This is here's a perfect video response. Here's a perfect video response of where we're at. And by the way, folks, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Hypocrisy.
You understand that Joe Biden has no moral center. He doesn't have any integrity.
Like, we're fucked.
It's fine. Nothing has fundamentally changed.
Just so you know, why is he doing this? Because nothing will fundamentally change. We started bombing Iraq in 1992, and we haven't stopped.
So fuck you. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck everyone who supports Joe Biden. I do not tolerate you. I do not tolerate Zionist bullshit. I do not tolerate imperialist bullshit. I do not tolerate agents of capitalism in Wall Street.
Because I'd rather have Joe Biden derangement syndrome. I do.
Demented President Joe Biden.
They're not doing anything right now.
Biden loves war so much you would think it was a young girl's hair.
If you are aligned with Joe Biden, if you are aligned with these kinds of values, fuck you. You are the enemy of all sane, civilized, and human beings on this planet. That's who you are. So fuck you.
Like, we're fucked.
You'd think that Joe Biden would be a little bit more careful about where his hands are going, where his nose is sniffing.
Biden loves war so much you would think it was a young girl's hair.
He brings unity to the table. Look, see? Got the unity ring on? Unity. Nothing to worry about. Unity.
So Joe Biden is backing off of his campaign promises. Who would have thought?
As Joe Biden's approval rating sinks, the Democratic Party suffers too. So Joe Biden is bringing down the Democratic Party.
Like, we're fucked.
Isn't that nice that a demented guy gets to decide who to kill?
It's basically what Congress is in Washington, D.C. It's the old folks' home where the senile people are making decisions.
He's a pathological liar.
Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah.
I'm demented.
Because I'd rather have Joe Biden derangement syndrome. I do. Because he's part of the national security state. He's part of the prison industrial complex. You guys don't even understand what we're fighting.
Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. Kleptocracy.
This is the world we're in, folks. Madness and stupidity all around. I wish things would be better, but it's not. We're effed.